What would 2024 be if I couldn't end it off with one more MrBeast video, as he is once again in the news, ladies and gentlemen, as the Ontario Labour Ministry is investigating an injury on the Toronto set of Beast Games. As you all know, the most recent season, recording of Beast Games took place in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and there was yet another injury that has had the Ontario Labour Ministry have to look into it. And for anyone out of the loop, the uninformed like myself, I'm not going to lie to you. Now, the Ministry of Labour is like essentially Ontario's version of OSHA, which we have in the United States, which is to basically make sure that, that employment standards are met, workplace health and safety and labor relations, things like this are resolved and people are treated fairly. People aren't hurt. People aren't, being taken advantage of. People are given things like water, like air conditioning, just very basic human rights, that you would want in a workplace. And the Ministry of Labour is essentially Ontario's version of that system. Now, we have this article by the Canadian Press by Nicole Thompson. Thank you, Nicole. It was written today. And it's saying that the Ontario Labour Ministry is investigating an industrial accident on the Toronto set of Beast Games, the newly released Prime Video competition series from the YouTube star MrBeast. We all know what the heck's going on there. It's like Amazon's #1 show right now. #1 unscripted TV show launch of all time by MrBeast, Jimbo Donaldson himself, right? And now this ministry says a worker was injured by falling wood on September 11th on the set as a miniature village constructed for the show on the grounds of the former Downsview Airport. Now, this actually kind of lines up from an article written over on the Rolling Stone quite some time ago that says Beast Games is the biggest competition show ever. Crew claims behind the scenes was chaos by Stephen A. Sarch. If we scroll down just a little bit, it kind of dives into some of the things that people have been talking about with the Beast Games, some of the pretty rough things that we've covered throughout the few months leading up to this moment and the show officially launching. People claiming the show was disorganized, conditions were unsanitary, things were going around. Apparently, the team was stealing people's underwears, people kind of memeing on it, making it seem like Jimmy was an underwear thief. But more or less along the lines, people were losing things like their medicine, their clothing, their underwears, things like that. We even had a woman face a traumatic brain injury. Rosanna covered that. I covered that after she was, kicked in the head during a game. Rose. And then in September, 5 unnamed participants filed a lawsuit against Amazon and Donaldson for chronic mistreatment, sexual harassment, and a failure to pay minimum wages. And now we have, in late August, a miniature village appeared in downtown Toronto with cabins, tables, a basketball court, and a large tower. Kind of lines up to what we just read. And then on September 11th, a 6-foot by 6-foot piece of the exterior of the tower fell on a crew member while the set was being packed away. Now, 6 foot by 6 foot is no small object. Your boy is only 5'11", right? So it's 1 inch taller than me. Imagine someone 1 inch taller than me just taking a big dive and landed right on top of you. The person was injured, and now they are having the Ministry of Labour look into it. Now, it says that the Labour Ministry did not share the extent of the person's injuries, citing the ongoing investigation, but it says that the employers, Blink 49 Studios and Manhattan Beach Studios, were each issued a requirement. A ministry spokesperson did not say what that was. Now, this is the first time I'm actually hearing these names, Blink 49 Studios and Manhattan Beach Studios. For most of the Beast Games, a lot of the commissioned people who are paid to come in and work with MrBeast and alongside Amazon, they haven't really had their names or the company names revealed. So this is the first time I'm hearing about these names. But from the looks of it, it looks like Blink 49 Studios is a world-class, full-service indie studio for, leading film and TV studios taking place over here in Toronto as well. And then Manhattan Beach Studios, similar to the other one, is a video production service in Manhattan Beach, California. So we got some globe setters. These guys are flying across the world. Now, neither of these companies responded to comments or requests nor did Prime Video. Typical. Amazon has actually been extremely silent about most of this. Even Jimmy himself hasn't really talked about any of the Beast Game stuff that's going on. And some of those things were like some of the very, very, very early things to come out relating to MrBeast. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was an article that came out a few months back from this site called like Vital Vegas, I guess because it's not like the most trusted source. People didn't really talk about it much, but that ended up being like the start of all of this, right? Everything that that article talked about ended up being elaborated more and more and more with some of these other articles. I actually pulled it up as an example. July 18th, August, September, October, November, December. Literally, one day it's going to be January. 5 months into this drama, this all started, again, 5 months ago. MrBeast shoots Beast Games in Las Vegas. Controversy abounds. And I guess now that all of this is like public information, we can finally talk about it, but it did go into people being under NDAs, 2,000 people. It went into who Jimmy was, and there was this original sign right here, which was basically telling people, hey, there's going to be these games coming up. We're going to pay you to come test them out with us. We had people wearing garbage bags on their outfits to hide the fact that they were going to Beast Games. All of this was literally like emerging in front of our eyes. I had a friend, another content creator in this sphere, text me. They sent me this link and said, cover this. Please cover this. You will pop off. I covered it. My channel started blowing up, and I'm so grateful that I did, because this was the beginning of this whole thing. All of this was from this one article, from what I know. See, people were found with their uniforms on. All of this, you know, people start talking about no medications, no undergarments, right? You had an original photo of Beast with his little Squid Game bestie right here. You had a picture of the behind the scenes set. Again, real creepy, looks like some Hunger Games level stuff. You had pictures of people's uniforms, right? And it all started again back in July. 5 months ago. Toronto police say that they also were called to the set that day, but the incident is not criminal in nature, so they are not investigating. So again, you know, no one's really to blame here. It seems like it was more like an accident that happened. Unfortunate, very unfortunate, but accidents do happen, right? So Jimmy's not to blame. None of the crew, none of the people building this was really to blame. An accident happened. But again, it is being represented by Amazon, by Beast, so it's going to be linked to them. An investigation published by Rolling Stone last week containing broader allegations about conditions. So basically what we just took a look at. And then the rest of the article kind of goes into like what Beast Games is, who Jimmy Donaldson is, what the Prime Video show is, and how it has the chance to win $5 million. Blase, blah. But again, that's just about all we have for today's update. Again, it is quite insane. It's been about 4 months. It's literally December 30th. December 30th as I'm working on this. Probably going to be the 31st when it goes up. And we're still talking about Beast. At least I am. I know you guys are sick of it. I'm kind of sick of it. But, you know, this is kind of what I've done since the beginning. Since all of this started, it just doesn't make sense for me to stop covering it now. But that's all for today. Another injury is being investigated, once again linked to MrBeast and the Beast Games. Again, this is one of those things, though, where luckily we're able to say it wasn't his fault, thankfully. But again, pretty horrible. Hope this guy, you know, does well. Hope the Ontario Labour Ministry is able to get everything solved and figured out, and it doesn't end up affecting anyone in the long run. But thank you guys for watching. Like the video, share it, subscribe, all that good stuff. Peace out.